Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she is waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget.
Good morning, guys. We'll give everybody a few minutes to sign in, and we will get going. This is Garrett, Howell. Thanks for coming on, man.
The bar closes, and you feel like
happy to be here.
I'll carry you home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. No, I know that I'm not all that you got. I guess that I just thought maybe we could find new ways to fall apart. But our friends are back, so let's raise a toast. 'Cause I found someone to carry me home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. Coming home tonight. Just coming home tonight. Coming home tonight. Just coming home tonight. The moon is on my side. I have no reason to run.
As we're getting things started here, guys, for those of you guys that are on, Garrett does not know all of you guys. Let's give Garrett some love. Let's show him where we are coming from across the country. So put your location in the chat box here so we know where everybody's at.
So let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun
Brown over in Denver,
tonight.
Minnesota.
We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
Beautiful. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for dropping locations into the chat box there. All right, guys. Garrett, we're going to start off with some wins for the week here, as we always do, and then we're going to jump into it with you. But before we get things started, guys, 3 wins for the week to start things off. Who has some good things going on, personal, business-wise, growth-wise? Does not matter. Who wants to start us off?
I got a couple.
I'll start it off. Go ahead.
Talk to us, Robert.
So I finished up the Revenos relocation courses, so that was a big win. And then I signed my first listing client. So I'm working on selling my first home.
Get out, man. Just starting off hot. Damn. Yeah, see, now aren't you mad at Justin for making you go to that other company for a few months? You could have started this shit off this fast to begin with. You didn't have to go through those trial periods. You just had to be with the right group, baby. Congratulations on that, Robert. Who else? Somebody else was chiming in on a win that they had going on. Who was that? Was that you, Garrett? Talk to me,
Yeah,
man.
I'll go. I'm the newbie. Um, so I finished my courses for my LO license.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So, dabbling in a little different realm here. So that's cool. Got a house under contract. I've been working with these guys for a couple months this morning. So hey, you know,
All good stuff, man. And
yeah, man.
we should, I actually need to come up and do some brainstorming and stuff with Bridget. When I do, I'll make sure that you're in the office because I
Yeah.
love the lending side and love even more the kind of the private money side of things for more so investors stuff like that. I want to make sure that you have those options and stuff available to you as well. But thank you for sharing.
Definitely. My pleasure.
And who has the third win for us this week?
Larry, I'll take that one.
Talk to me, Lawrence King.
Thank you, first of all, for introducing me to Adonis Lockett. I positioned myself with a couple of developers already previously.
Yeah.
And their offerings are through the roof, like the best thing they've seen in a long time. So we've connected with them on one deal that we're about to move into position on right now. And it's looking good. So cross fingers, but thank you for that connection. I got that connected with Adonis and his group.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's some of the things that I want to make sure that you have access to, Garrett. We have a gentleman in our group. He runs a smart money blueprint and basically has a network of private money. So it's not so much the conventional space, but you have somebody that wants to do ground up construction or storage unit facilities, etc. He's built this network of people that specialize with all of those little niches and stuff there. So I'll make sure that I get you guys connected and stuff there as well. And Jeff Russell says that we have a bonus one that we need to hear. Jeff Russell, what do you got over there, man?
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. My camera's having some technical difficulties, but I just wanted to share one that a lot of people would probably resonate to. I have an agent, actually a broker that I've been working on for almost 5 years to come over here to EXP. And boy, she's very close to me. But anyway, I found out she's going to I&M in Miami next week or so. So I reached out to our CEO, Leo Perea, and I workplaced him and wondering if I'm going to hear back from him. And I said, hey, I've got this agent that does about 200 transactions a year. I'd really like to hook her up with you. And he responded like within 14 minutes. He responded and he says, sure,
Yeah.
Jeff. He says he sent a separate workplace with his assistant and said to his assistant, hey, set up a Zoom for Jeff and the agent he's working on coming over. And I just thought, wow, that is incredible. I mean, we're a huge company and I'm just a little fish, right? And to have that kind of support is just amazing. So I wanted to share that with everybody.
Beautiful. Well, that's exciting stuff, man. Lots of
Jeff.
good things.
You're
Yeah.
not a little fish, baby. You're a big fish.
Well, in the pond I swim in, I'm a little fish.
That's a good
But
pond.
that's good. But that's good. And I just want to say, and everybody probably feels this way, I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. I want to be surrounded by myself around people that are much smarter than me, and that just it takes me and my business to a higher level. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Yes, absolutely. Well, wonderful, guys. We got some great stuff going on. Super excited here to have Garrett Howell with us. And not only is Garrett Howell a friend of mine, like our daughters cheer together. We see each other around Houston and stuff like that. Man, he has raving reviews from everybody that I talk to and stuff here. And he also runs our military division, which is what we want the focus and stuff to be on today. Talk about how we get more involved with this community, how we service this community a little bit more. What are the options to be able to kind of branch out and stuff? for that. But Garrett, like before we get like way into that, like give us a little background on yourself, brother. Like how did you end up here? So give us a little journey of like how you ended up here, my friend.
I failed into EXP.
Failed into EXP. I love the way this is starting. Tell me more.
So I've been in real estate for a little over 13 years. I was working for some property management companies, some big firms down in Houston, and there was some bureaucracy, politics stuff going on in corporate, stuff. And I had an opportunity to break away and start a brokerage with this guy that I'd met, and it sounded legit. Everything sounded on the up and up. So it got me out of that situation, put me into a situation where I love to be in a leadership role, mentoring, training, that type of stuff with newer agents. And that was kind of my background in the military too, right? So it just all kind of fell into place. And we were going, and I was investing a lot of my money into this new brokerage. And this is right before Harvey hit. Okay, so give you a little time frame there. So right before Harvey hit, I've been working 6 months marketing, pushing out the brand, recruiting agents, training agents, writing manuals, budgets, all this stuff, like doing all the back office stuff, right? Not in production. So I'm not selling houses at this point, right? And our agents are making some, transactions there. And my partner was in charge of doing, capital raising, right? So he's out there, trying to get other people to come in and buy into our brand and whatnot to kind of get us off the ground. We were sitting there and I'm looking at my savings just go down. My credit cards are going up and I'm not making any money. Right. We had a contract in place where he was going to reimburse me for any expenses. So anyways, we had an injunction about $100,000 from an investor, hit the bank account, saw that. And I'm like, all right, I'm about to get paid back. And then I saw the bank account go to zero. And this guy who was my partner for the last 6-7 months building this thing took all the money and ran. But I didn't find that out until right after Hurricane Harvey hit. And I was doing a fireside chat with Michael Hellickson from Club Wealth. And he had came in from him and some of his people from across the U.S. brought supplies. They drove from Seattle all the way down. And it was a little quaint, probably 15 person. I got invited by a lender, a friend of mine. And we brought in some people from Louisiana talking about what does real estate look like post flooding, right? To this magnitude. So got some good nuggets, and I met a guy named Rick Reynes and Brian Matheson, who were our former EXPers. And I was wearing my shirt, my branded shirt with this new brokerage, and the look I got from one of the guys, from Brian, was like, dude, you just got, like, he already knew in his mind, like, I was about to get scammed, right? Apparently he had a run-in with this guy before, got a bad feeling about it. I guess he has a better meter than I do. And him and his wife opted not to partner up with this guy. And so he was like, hey, are you, I could tell there was some tension there. So I was like, hey, I'm just an agent. I'm just work there. And I try to downplay. He was like, well, I'd be very careful of this guy. He's a snake. And then obviously a couple weeks later, he took the money and ran. I haven't seen him since. Fast forward, I partnered up with this very well-known broker here in the Woodlands area. And she wanted to start a team. She had the brokerage already established. She was doing a lot of production, and she wanted me to come in to help start a team. So I did that. And we spent days working on all the preliminary stuff again. And one day we checked off the whole whiteboard. We had this whole whiteboard, all the commission splits, agents, all the things, right? And we check it off. And we're like, cool, let's put it on paper, and this is our SOP, right? Come in the next day, it is all erased. And I said, oh, what's going on? Like, did you come in overnight and do something? She's like, no, I talked to my coach in another state, and he told me that we should do something different. I said, well, we spent a week on this, and this is our partner. Anyways, so obviously did not work out. So I reached back out to my EXP friends that warned me about the other guy, and started my EXP career 8 years ago. So
all right. Yeah. So you were kind of you were just running out of options there, right? Like
yeah, I was.
you had went down.
Yeah.
Like just came to a head, right?
Yeah. So I've had a couple. I didn't make a dime for over a year.
Okay. And you got into real estate. You came from the military, right? Yeah. Like, tell us about your time in the military.
Yep. So I was one of those guys that I tried college right out of high school. Grew up in San Antonio, moved out to the Magnolia area north of Houston. Right after high school, went to college, basically signed up and didn't go to class for about 4 or 5 years. Seeing all my buddies graduating college and going off and starting families and buying these new trucks and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm here bartending, I make money to pay my bills and go out and party. Really wasn't going anywhere. So anyways, went down, talked to some recruiters, and basically I had nothing going for me. So I was like, put me on the next bus to boot camp, I really thrived in the military, and I probably would have stayed in. I would have been a lifer if there were some contract issues that they didn't want to. I was a little older. I was 24 when I went, so I wasn't just this young kid out of fresh from mama's house. I'd owned businesses, and I'd managed people, and had all this experience, life experience, which really helped me going into the military. So started that. I was going to go, initial contract was go to Buds, go the SEAL route. I was really motivated and really in shape back then. So didn't work out. Ended up going, and I was in the Navy, but I was attached to the Marine Corps as a corpsman. So I was a Fleet Marine Force corpsman with the Marines for active duty for 7 years, reserves and then reserves after that. So 10 years altogether, man.
10 years altogether. Well, thank you so much for everything that you've done up to this point. And now, like, that's still such a big part of your life, because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're running the veterans division and stuff over here at EXP. How did that opportunity even come up, right? Because like, there's a lot of companies that don't even have different referral systems and stuff like that, let alone kind of the veterans, which is a very like unique space, right? With people that are coming back, they're transitioning, the loans are different and everything like that.
Yeah.
How did that come to head to where that opportunity even came up with EXP?
So I was, the first time I iconed probably 5 years ago. I was, I didn't go, I wasn't like, like I said, I've been with EXP for over 8 years now, I think. think so. Anyways, but I was never like an event guy starting out, right? And then of course you get Icon and you're like, oh, I better start going to events and make some of my money back and, start working on this thing, right? So I'm at EXPCon or shareholders, one of them, and I meet Deanna Dopslaff. She actually started the military network for EXP. She's out of New Mexico, and she started it with just a couple people, and I ended up meeting her. They were having this, it was just a military meetup. So I was like, I'll go and see who my fellow vets are and whatever. And so went there, and she was like, well, we're starting this and we're having state squad leaders and we need somebody in Texas. It's like, man, I'll sign up, like I love to serve. Right. So I've been the state squad leader for the MilNet for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years now. And I have a bunch of regional, what we call squad leaders. She was in Air Force, so she went with the squadron thing, and we don't do that. Yeah.
We won't
But-
judge her for that, right?
Yeah. Her husband, actually, she's a military spouse, so her husband was retired Air Force, so I can give him, I always ruffle his feathers when I can. So she started it, and it just has grown to where she was the big player liaison between, us trying to start this group and corporate, and they hashed it out. They went back and forth quite a bit to kind of get where we're at now. I want to say,
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what does the military
Sure.
network and stuff look like right now? What size is it? How many people do you serve? Like, what does it look like? So you started 5 years ago, right? With maybe like 10 of you guys kind of meeting up as kind of like a veterans meetup group. What has that grown to at this point in time?
I think we're over 3,000 members in the MilNet that are actually either veterans or military spouses, or just supporters, right? And and each state has a squad leader, and obviously, some states are more, heavier on the military installations. Texas and California, we're both got the most bases, right? And and then you go to like, we even got a guy in Alaska, but anyway, so what we do is we collaborate together to help our veterans, not only the veterans within EXP and whatnot and military spouses, but also, we collaborate for our clients. So what we try to do is we try to come up with education and resources across the US, right? So, and it's a very unique referral system that we use because we're military or we've lived that life, right? So when we have a military member who's separating, or what we call PCSing, which means that they got orders to move from one duty station to another, and they're still active duty, well, that onus falls a lot on the family, right? So the spouse is, the active duty member gets orders. Sometimes they have to leave in a week, 2 weeks. It could be a month or two, but they have to go. So that means that we now have a family left behind that has to pack up, sell the house, or, get out of the rental or whatever it is, and move a family and dogs and pets and all that stuff across the country to this new duty station where they don't have any resources, right? Mm-hmm. So we actually try to smooth that out for them, take away that stress, offer resources. So if they're moving to, Washington, right, then we have somebody there to greet them, to say, hey, welcome. here's a list of here's the all the schools, here's who you need to contact, here's the grocery stores, yada 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 yada, right? You got to go do all your, get your vehicle tags to get on base, and like all the things that have to happen. We have those resources ready for them, right? So that takes off a lot of that stress. We'll rally up people to come and help families unpack and unload, right? So we just there's a certain amount of care and stuff that we put into place with our veterans, and then we have our separating veterans that are going to their new home, wherever that may be, right? So they're moving across country or coming back from deployment or whatever it is, and they're looking at where they're going to live next, right? And so we help facilitate that.
Okay, beautiful.
So-
So, yeah, so there's obviously, I mean, moving is one of the most stressful experiences, or purchasing a home, selling a home is one of the most stressful experiences to begin with. But as you indicated, like in the military, right? Like there's all of these other things that even normal people that are moving don't really think about. So you guys have about 3,000 agents in this network. All 50 states at this point in time. You guys have squadron leaders and stuff in all 50 states at this point to kind of be liaison and help new members that are becoming a part of the military network and stuff as well.
Sure. Yep. So, we being from the military, even being a military spouse, right? Like we operate differently, right? And so if we start talking about, all the acronyms that we use in the military, it blows somebody's mind. It's like, me talking Mandarin to you, right? You're like, huh? What'd you just say? And then we can talk to each other very directly. We don't have to fluff a lot of stuff, but we do it tactfully. But we take these agents or these new veterans. The military has really cool programs for separating. So if you're getting out, and I think you served your 4-year term at least or whatever, they have a program called Skill Bridge. And Skill Bridge, what that is you actually stop working for the military the last 4 to 6 months, and you can go and start training and getting licensed for whatever else is coming whenever you get home, right? Your next job, right? So it's a transition program that they have. And so we actually work with a lot of the agents around the US you have to get certified to be a part of Skill Bridge, but we can get them licensed and trained. We have 4 to 6 months to get them licensed and trained up, right? They can't collect commissions, but we have certain things that we can do for them to make sure that once they actually are separated from the military, that boom, they already have a pipeline. They already have closings on the books, and they're coming out of the gate ready to go. Because one of the biggest things that lead to suicides, drug use, alcoholism, and all this other stuff is our military members come home or they get off active duty and they don't have anywhere to go. They don't have placement for, they might have a home, but they don't know what they're doing. They were aviation tech or ordnance or something like that, and they were loading bombs on planes. How does that correlate to civilian life, right? So that's another big aspect that we help with, is that transition into civilian life, what that looks like, and provide them with resources to do so.
Man, that's beautiful, right? And I think about, like, not to relate the two, but similar, like this is where a lot of people, like in prison, if you don't have rehabilitation and stuff like that, they get out, and then they could have been a firefighter in the prison system. Now they can't be a firefighter because it violates the contract, which is really weird to me, and a different subject, right?
Yeah.
But But then they're like, nobody will give them a job. No, well, shit, it's easier to go in there and then, have a lot of them end up going back in, but to be able to help with that transition process. Cause like you said, if you have a weapons mechanic or somebody that's loading bombs or this or that, like that doesn't quite correlate into civilian life there. And that's a big need, right? Is how do we transition and get people set up for success? As this, and I had no idea. What did you call it? Skill bridge? Is that
Skill bridge? Yep.
Skill bridge? Like that sounds like an amazing opportunity and stuff there. So we have like roughly 50 leaders from across the country. Most are big time producers across the country. And I mean, I think here in the US, like the military is near and dear to our heart, right? Like the reason that we have the freedom and everything that we have right now, if people wanted to get more involved and, be able to help others in their community, like what are next steps or what are opportunities for people on this call that want to work more with the military community specifically to know about kind of these options and be able to guide people?
Sure. So we're broker agnostic here, right? Like, so, meaning we're mostly EXP people here.
I think mostly EXP people and stuff like that on here.
Yeah. No worries. So the first steps are to go into workplace, which will soon be Slack, by the way. But go into workplace and look up military network, or we abbreviate everything in the military, so it's called MilNet, but military network, and we have 2 pages, and we have the military network, which is we disseminate a lot of information, and the other one is our referral network. Okay. Ask to join those. You should get plugged into whatever state you're from. Your state squad leader should you be able to talk to them and just say, hey, look, if you're former military or you're a military spouse or you're just a America supporter and you want to support the troops, hey, that's great too. Like, it takes all of us, right? And so if you want to do that, go in there first. And then a lot of people have kids. There you go. That are military and stuff. So obviously, we want to do everything we can to help our military members. But start there, plug in to that, find out who your state squad leader is. You can always shoot me a message offline or something, and I can find that out for you and connect y'all. If we're not with EXP, just reach out to me directly. I'll put my information in the chat or whatever. You can reach out to me directly. I'll find, just somebody there that you can talk to and have a resource, right? Because there's so many, and the main reason why we have state squad leaders is because each state offers different benefits to service members. Okay. Texas is obviously very pro-military. We have a ton of benefits that people don't know about. The other thing that we also like to do is, I think, helps out a lot, which we can do another session on or something, but how to use your VA for investing, right?
Yeah.
So how to really utilize your VA. You earned it, right? There's a lot of benefits to it. And most agents, they only think of, oh, you can buy your, only house with this and this and that. There's a lot of options to buy multifamily and some other things too. So I think without going too deep down the rabbit hole, but you get a certain amount of entitlement, right? And I think, like, so where I live in Montgomery County, north of Houston, the entitlement for VA is at $806,000.92. But basically, if I wanted to, I could buy two $400,000 houses. So
Okay.
Yeah. yeah. So anyways, there's a lot of things that we could have another training on that goes deeper than the surface level, like the regular benefits, no money down, lower interest rate. If you have a disability rating, you don't pay the funding fee, right? Which is huge. 100%, you don't pay property taxes, which is
Yeah.
huge, right?
Huge.
So
Especially here in Texas, right? Like my dad lives up in just a little bit east of Dallas, right? On
Mhm.
on a couple of acres. And he's at 90% disability, working on that extra 10%. And like, man, to not have property tax in Texas, which the average is around like 3%, is a huge deal. Property taxes are way up here in Texas specifically. By a show of hands, how many of you guys have worked with people in the military? How many of you guys are associated, ex-military and stuff yourself? Right? Like these are the reason that I wanted to bring Garrett on is this is such a particular niche, right? So many of us, like my niche, I would say, is REO and default, right? Like I'm tactical when it comes to that, right? But I wouldn't be the best person to service if this is a part of your business plan, right? If helping military and veterans, like you need to know this type of stuff so that way you can provide the best service possible. They can find any realtor to find them a house. This is where we talk about you will get compensated more by the more value that you add to others. Knowing these programs, knowing what's out there will set you apart from your competition, right? And that's where you guys need to focus on because it's a huge need and stuff that's out here. Now, I also know that we have the military relocation specialist through the Revenos. Does that align with your guys's division at all, or is that kind of separate?
That's really, it's a good designation. It's a good marketing piece. It's just surface level, to be honest.
Okay.
It's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I don't have mine just because
It's kind of like just because you have your real estate license doesn't mean you're a good realtor. Just because you have your driver's license does not mean you're a good driver, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have these licenses, but it doesn't quite put it into play. So, and again, guys, I'll put this in here too, right? Like, so, through Revenos, we do have the, military relocation specialist. And if this is like a need that you guys are looking for, it's a good starting point. It's going to give you, it's like if you were to take an REO class and they say, they teach you the acronyms of BPO and this and that, and CFK, right? Like you're going to get some baseline knowledge, which is going to help you more than if you have nothing. But, getting involved with these local squadron leaders and finding out these tools and resources, this is where you really start separating yourself from the pack at this point in time, in my eyes, right? What are your, would that be a fair assumption or a good way to put it there, Garrett?
Yep. And one advice I would give, if you are not familiar with the military at all, that's okay. You can still provide a service. Most military members, especially when they're first separating, right? They live this life for, a couple years or could be 20 years, right? But this was life. All they know is military for the last couple years, right? So getting out, they're going to be drawn to more somebody like me who has prior service, who I can talk the lingo, and I can talk to them in a way that they're going to comprehend and understand, right? Now, that's not to say that other people can't work with the military or veterans, but you have to educate yourself, right? If someone's coming out and they're like, oh, well, I'm a senior chief in the Navy and I was, aviation ordnance or whatever it is, to a civilian, that's, gibberish, right? So let's look it up. Like, okay, well, cool. Well, you were senior chief. All right, you were an E8, right? Like you were this rank, you did this many years. Like educate yourself. So, and not to say like, oh, like trying to, keep up with them, but just to know, like show them that, hey, I care and I want to provide the best service I can. And by doing that, I'm understanding where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Right. Because like I said, we have so many. If I put in all my acronyms for my title in the military, here, I'll do it just for
And as he's typing that in, guys, like this is again, what we teach here, if this is part of your business plan, right? I want you guys to lean into it. I want you to separate yourself from the pack, right? This is where we don't need to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. If this is not your niche, right? If this is not where you focus, I want you to have resources like Garrett Howell. So if you get somebody, maybe it's better for you to refer somebody out to somebody that could be serviced better, right? This is where like I want to make sure that you guys have options to make the best choices possible for whatever your business plan looks like. It's not going to affect me whether you just focus on military 100% or not, REO 100% or not, right? Like what does your business plan look like? And if this is one of them, right? You might live in Fort Hood, Texas, right? Like, which is the largest Army base in the country at this point in time. And it might be inevitable for you to like not work with somebody in the military. Well, damn, you should know what these benefits and stuff are here. So tell me, what does this HM2 FMF hospital corpsman like?
yeah. So HM2, so that what that is that's my rate, right? That was my job in the Army and Marine Corps. We call it the MOS, right? But in the Navy, we call it our rate. So HM2 means I'm a second class petty officer, hospital corpsman. And the FMF is Fleet Marine Force, means I went through specialized training to do more combat medicine. I'm basically a combat medic. If I had to break it down to civilian terms, I'm a combat medic, right?
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying is like, if I put that out there, oh, I'm a second class petty officer. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but I'm an E5, or I was an E5, right? So, and then hospital corpsman basically just says like I'm a glorified nurse in a uniform, right? But yeah. So, and then, like I said, that's just one example of the thousands of different titles we have in the military. But look that up, like, educate yourself and have a little knowledge on that. I was never on a ship. Like, oh, you're in the Navy. Oh, what ship were you on? Like, wasn't on a ship. I was with some grunts, some infantry units, and we did a lot of walking in boots. And we packed a lot of stuff. And then I went to artillery where we had these big cannons and we didn't walk anywhere. We just drove everywhere. So that was fun, so.
Wonderful, man. Well,
Yeah.
and I want to open this up, for those of you guys that are on the call, like questions, comments, concerns on how you guys can get more involved or what kind of options and stuff are out there. And while they're drumming up some questions, you can either raise your hand, put it in the chat box or anything else. If somebody wants to focus more on the military, obviously getting educated is a big piece of it.
Mhm.
Being able to speak the language and stuff like that. Right? Being able to relate because people do business with others that they know, like, and trust. And somebody from the military probably feels pretty comfortable with you, right? Because you automatically have this band of brothers, this rapport, because you've been in the same scenario and stuff that they've been in. Are there opportunities, referral networks, like other groups and stuff that you would recommend that people get involved with if they want to work with the military class more closely.
Definitely. I'll put in. So we also have another referral, more of a marketing type company. It's actually I don't know if you see the logo on my shirt, but military. Something that we started to kind of go beyond real estate service, right? So, the military network is great. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of corporate oversight. With any global company, you're going to have that, right? So we wanted to really make sure that we are providing the best service to our military families. And I think the MilNet is great for referrals and whatnot, but we decided to start military and take it above and beyond, where we actually have a vetting process where we vet our agents across the nation and they become military vetted agents, right? It's a stamp of approval. It's a stamp of excellence that we know so it's me and two other business partners that we interview every agent that we bring on. And we say, hey, look, are you committed to serving our military families? It's people over profit, right? If a military family is struggling and they need, half your commission, are you willing to do that? If the answer is no, well, then you're not a good fit, right? Obviously we want people to make money and be successful and all that stuff, but I have a really good buddy who got into real estate shortly after I did. He's probably been in 8 or 9 years now and love the guy to death. He's a fantastic guy. First thing he does when he's a client is he looks at his commission. The first thing he does. Oh, I got a $700,000 deal, dude. That's $21,000 I'm gonna make. You haven't even signed the client yet. Like you don't even have paperwork in place. But that's the first thing I was like, man. And I've been working on them for so many years of like, hey, take care of the client. The money will come. Money will come. Yeah. But take care of that client. And so that's what we really encourage. That's what we expect from our vetted agents. So that's a good place that we're like I said, brokerage agnostic. We have Keller Williams agents, real agents, LPT. We have all kinds of people that work with us through military. And that's also why we started that. That way we can be all encompassing from other brokerages and whatnot. So.
Beautiful. So there's quite a few resources in there, right? I put in there the different workplace groups that are on there, the military specialist through the Revenues Department, and then we have the military, right, which is Garrett's network. If you guys want to be more involved and stuff with it, as well, questions, comments, concerns, like. What questions do you guys have for Garrett while we have him on here and as we tie things up?
And I just want to say thank you to all the people who responded that have kids or family members in the military. I know that life and I know it's tough, especially I don't have kids in the military. But my heart goes out to y'all because I know it can be stressful at times. So,
hey, Garrett, thank you for your service too, man. I appreciate it and all you're doing.
Hey, Mr. King, you're worth it.
Yeah, all my uncles, everybody's been in the military, so I'm the only one probably didn't make it to the military. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're definitely worth it, sir.
Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns on how to get more involved, additional resources, questions with clients and stuff that you guys are working with now?
Yeah, the VA is a magnificent tool. Like I said, we learn about it when we take our real estate exam very briefly, but really deep diving into your state, what they offer for your veterans, all the military benefits that come along. Have a knowledge of all that, even if it's not real estate related. You know where
Yeah.
your local VAs are, if they have outpatient clinics, or have all that. So if you have a veteran move into the area, and you're like, hey, look, here's your local VA, here's your outpatient clinic, here's this, there's that, here's a VSO, a veteran service organization that I'm a part of, even though I wasn't military, but I'm a part of this and I support them. It's a group of mostly military. I actually I'm on the board of a veteran service organization called the Bell Institute, which is veterans, entrepreneurs, and leaders. And so what we do is we help. You don't have to be a veteran, but you have to be a veteran or entrepreneur or a leader in your community. Now, granted, most of us are veterans, but we have a lot of people in here that are not. But they provide a lot of service to the community. So we pull together and we try to help. We put on classes, just standard business classes, like how do you run a business? How do you, finance? Like all these, we have all these experts that have started businesses in our community, and we come out. We have keynote speakers, and we have luncheons and whatnot, talking on different topics. So.
Wonderful. Well, man, thank you so much for jumping on here with us, Garrett, and just kind of guiding us. I know, we're never going to be able to get through all that much in 45 minutes, but the goal of this mastermind is to really just kind of give people, a direction, right? If this is part of their business plan, how do they expand this? And what we preach a lot is how do we add massive value to where it's a disservice for others not to use us, right? And this is where you have to really increase the amount of education and the value that you add, especially for the military community, guys. You have, again, there's these transition processes and stuff like this. And if this is going to be your niche, really lean into this. Take advantage of the resources that we have, within our group. Garrett just put all of his contact information and stuff there. If you need something, not just here in the Houston area, but across the country, he's connected with some of the top military kind of professionals, especially that are also related with real estate, and can guide you guys in the right direction. So, Garrett, thank you so much for your service, my brother. I appreciate it. I will definitely.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I will definitely get you connected with Adonis Lockett, as Lawrence King had mentioned, especially as you're getting into the lending side and stuff here.
Yep.
Guys, if you guys need anything, reach out
I
to
do
me.
have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
Good morning. I have probably worked with 4 to 5 buyers in my time as a realtor in my 20 years that were VA. And I didn't have the knowledge of the different choices that they had, but I put them in touch with a lender that I interviewed myself that knew about it, that could work with them to make sure that they were getting the best that they could possibly get them. But my question is, how long is the training so that you learn the terminology and you learn what the ranking is and things of that nature? Because I'm always giving back,
Oh yeah. It's I think it would be really a case by case basis, right? Like, so if you get a client, just ask questions. Hey, where did you serve? Were you deployed? What was your job? You don't have to use all the lingo, but just ask these questions. Either take notes or mental notes, and then research it. Look it up. Military, Marine Corps rank. What is a Lance Corporal? What is a Staff Sergeant? Whatever it is, right? And then just look and become familiar with it. Like I said, don't try to talk the lingo. It's you look up a medical term and you try to use it and you're like, oh, well, you know,
And you
but
don't know what you're talking about. I get it.
yeah, and it's just like, hey, but just having a knowledge and asking questions
Mhm.
shows that you care more about them than just getting their deal, right? Getting their transaction, because um, they're going to be able to kind of read that. Like if you're genuine and you're like, man, I'm so, I didn't serve, but my dad or my grandpa or somebody,
Mhm.
cousin, whatever served, right? And that's great. And hopefully they're grateful. And but it's just like what our business is, right? It's all about creating rapport,
Mhm.
no matter what. No matter what, if it's a different culture, right? I've sold to people in China and they don't like the number 4 in their addresses. Well, nobody knows that unless you've actually done it. And it was a learning curve. I was like, man, like 4 is like a forbidden number in their culture, right? And so when I'm sending properties, I'm making sure I'm not sending them any properties with the number 4 in it.
Right, right.
So this is like a little example. So, but yeah, but no, thank you so much for asking. I mean, it's just knowing that you actually take a genuine care in there.
Right.
So
So for you mentioned that sometimes there are people who can't afford the commission, and
mhm,
I've dealt with that with like Section 8.
mhm,
We're charging 15% of 1 year. I've had to accept half a month commission for some people who may not be in shelters of situations like that. But
sure.
with your program, would that be you would have to accept the full no commission at all? And does that happen often?
No, it hardly ever happens. To be honest with you, we have a lot of grants and programs and stuff that we can plug them into to get them some assistance. And then also, in the market right now, I know in my area right now, I'm negotiating seller concessions like crazy. So I'm getting I actually had a closing where they actually got money back at closing.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were a vet, and now with the VA, like this is one of the nuances with the VA, you actually can't give them money back. It just went towards their principal. It was a
Right.
couple hundred. I mean, I think it was like $400,
Mhm.
but they got everything else was paid for. They got their earnest money and all that stuff back, and $400 paid down on their principal at closing.
Mhm.
So they got a free loan, right? So it was really cool.
And how is the need in New York City?
In New York City,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not overly familiar with that market, but I have a fantastic buddy of mine who runs the state squad leader for EXP in New York, and he's a phenomenal guy. I'd love to connect you with him.
Okay.
Yeah, so shoot me a message or an email or something, and I'll definitely connect you.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we want Garrett here for, right? Lots of times it's just having the right resources and stuff when we need it, and stuff there. So if you guys, Garrett put all of his contact information and stuff in there. If you need it, reach out to him directly. If you miss it or something like that, let me know. I'm happy to introduce you, right? And this is where
I missed it.
we just continue to add value to other people, continue to up our game, and surround ourselves with people that we want to be associated with and stuff. And so if you see Garrett, like, you will not miss him. He is a mountain of a man. So you might recognize his face. He's just going to be a lot bigger in person and stuff there. So if you run into him at EXPCon or something like that, make sure that you guys say hi to him. He hosts a lot of classes and stuff out there as well on the education side of things. So Garrett, thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate it. We are at the top of the hour and stuff here, guys. So go ahead and crush it this week. If you guys need anything, call, text, email me. and let us know how we can continue to add value to others. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.